back to another episode of Level Up. We are Kate and Katie of the Private Practice Startup, and Level Up is designed to help you build and grow the practice of your dreams and work with the clients that you absolutely adore and are most passionate about serving. So on Level Up, we answer your questions, and today's question comes from Alexandra Marie. Alexandra asks, I have a full practice and want to expand into additional streams of income. What are the best alternatives?
But first, let's thank TherapyNotes for sponsoring this series. And if you guys are in need of an awesome comprehensive EHR plus telehealth platform, definitely check them out. You can use the code PPS as in Private Practice Startup for your first 2 months for free. Check out therapynotes.com and let's talk about Alexandra's question.
So I hope that you guys find value in us answering, because a lot of times we answer you back with a ton of questions, a little bit like the Socratic method. But we really want you guys to get yourselves thinking. And a lot of times we do get asked, like, what's the best way to do this or the best way to do that? And one of the things that Kate and I are really passionate about as coaches is really tapping into your own natural talents. So to us, there's no really best way. There's a best way for you. And maybe a best way for your ideal client. So one of the things to identify is this going to be an extension of something that you already do with your ideal client, or are you going to go into a completely new direction, right? Is it like, hey, I have a group practice and it's running really well, but I've always wanted to work with this population and now you're going to do something else. So that's kind of the first place to start. Another place to start is to think about, what kind of additional stream of income do you want? Is this more of an active? Is it a hybrid of active and passive? Is it going to be totally passive? And to understand that, but also what is your ideal client wanting? So a lot of times as humans, and I know we do this all the time too, is we kind of think of this really great thing that everybody's going to love, but it's not always necessarily what our client is needing or what they're having a problem, and that this could be a solution for. So we really have to think about that as well. And I know as an online entrepreneur, but also private practice owners, there's a huge learning curve, especially if you're going to an additional stream of income if you are doing direct service. So it's a tough learning curve, I will say. There's a lot to it, but of course you can get a lot of support around that. So I want you to kind of think about that as well. Kate, what would you want to add?
Yeah, you pretty much covered a lot of the topics that we had wanted to share, and it really just depends on what your passions are, what area is going to fulfill you. If you're, seeing a lot of clients and you're kind of looking for something different, maybe it's real estate, maybe it's writing a book, maybe it's a completely different, unrelated therapeutic avenue, or if there's something that you find yourself saying over and over and over to your clients all the time, maybe it's an online course that you create and it's something that, or somehow you turn it into a product like a workbook or something that you can actually sell online. The concept of passive income it's kind of a terrible name for it, because on the front end, it's by no means passive. It's something that's very active and takes a long time to get set up properly. But once it is set up and is streamlined and you have an audience to sell to and the concept has been validated with something that they're really needing and wanting, then you really can sell money or make money. You can sell stuff while you sleep, sell money. That would be an interesting concept, right? So you really can make money while you sleep. But it can take a while to get there. So it's really thinking about what your passions are, who your audience is that you're wanting to serve, whether you have an audience yet, and validating the concept to help get clear that you're creating something and you're putting your time and energy into something that people are really needing and wanting, because your time is precious, and it's not something that is replenishable.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that. No, it's interesting you say that, because I just think about, myself personally, and, here we are private practice coaches, but in the background, I do a lot of like real estate stuff. And exactly what Kate is talking about is like real estate's a newer world for me, even though it's, a few years, but there is a huge learning curve. So even though I'm an investor, right? And as a passive investor, it's usually exchanging money, getting a percentage back. But there've been so many ups and downs in my journey and so many learning curves and so many problems that have kind of come up, is really taking the time. So whatever additional income stream you're going to, I know I always say this probably in every video, get some coaching, get some mentoring, because it's really going to help you. Otherwise, you're going to really make those costly, difficult mistakes. And I also wanted to give you guys a little #ninja tip. If you're going to do, I know we talked about identifying where your passions are, and it might be a complete different, population, different industry, and that's cool too. But usually what we find and what is most easy is taking some type of content in the context that you already have and just repackaging it into additional stream of income, because you already know that information, you know the pain points of your ideal client, you're knowing what they're needing and wanting, and it just is a little bit easier. So I just wanted to offer you guys that additional ninja tip in deciding like which additional income stream you're going to move towards.
And we hope these videos are helpful for you. And that was a great question. If you guys have additional questions you want to get us to answer in our Level Up series, look for the Ask Us post. It comes out on Tuesdays in our Facebook group, and we will look for your questions there. In the meantime, stay inspired, and you guys got this.
You guys got this. Take care.